Good morning and welcome to Legends Community Focus right here on Legends 100.3. Mike McGann with you as I always am on our South Florida Sunday morning to talk about topics that are of interest to you and to me and to the community. And today is one, I teach radio and I teach you can hear a smile, and I think you can hear mine because today is one that is really important and special to me. I am someone who loves to read. I am a reader. I've always been a reader. My son is a reader. The worlds that reading opened up to me when I was young, sometimes an escape that it gave me when I needed it, all the things I learned from it, just the joy of discovery that came with it is something that has been such a blessing and a boon to me in my life. I love libraries because of that. What a sanctuary. What a wonderful resource. And there is an organization that works so hard locally to provide incredible programs that keep libraries accessible. It keeps the books going. It keeps some of those, their libraries are a resource for programs that you may not even know about. And we're going to learn about it today, and that's why I'm so excited about it. With me today is Dean Dimke, who is the executive director for the West Palm Beach Library Foundation. It's an incredible organization, and we're going to talk a bit about what they're doing, what their mission is, what some of these incredible programs I'm talking about are, and how you can help them on that mission. Now, first off, grab a pen because I want you to write down their website. A lot of great information there. Find out how you can help as well. And that website, easy to remember, it's WPBLF.org. WPBLF.org, West Palm Beach Library Foundation, WPBLF.org. Dean, good morning.
Good morning, and it is wonderful to be here. And I share your enthusiasm for all things books, reading, and knowledge, and the world that opens up to everyone.
Isn't it a wonderful thing? And we were chatting about this a little bit before we went on the air, and I was thinking, it's already April, mid-April. It's amazing. And summer's coming. And I remember when I was a kid, my friends and I played outside a lot. We had our video game systems even back then. It was the Atari at the time. But I remember one of my biggest joys was to, on a Saturday morning or a summer morning, climb the tree that was in my yard next to my neighbor's house, sit up in this V of branches way up where I could see all the rooftops, and read a book up there by myself. And I loved it. That would take me away from video games. And I think that accessibility to that, especially during summer months when kids are distracted and so many other things are happening, books, libraries, the resource that they are, is so incredibly important. And let's talk a bit about the West Palm Beach Library Foundation and what your mission is.
Sure.
Because when it comes to keeping that resource going and keeping that resource such a rich thing, well, your mission is extremely important.
It is, and we turned 20 in December, so the Library Foundation was founded in the year 2000, and the initial purpose was that we were established to raise funds to build a new library.
Okay.
Many of your listeners, I'm sure, might recall when there was a library at the end of Clematis, right on the waterway.
Yep.
Now we're up about 5 blocks from that spot, 3 times bigger.
Wow.
So the Mandel Public Library is an amazing, I really think of it as more than a library. I think of it as a community resource.
It's a hub.
It's a hub of activity.
Yeah.
And our mission, the West Palm Beach Library Foundation's mission, is solely to do one thing. We raise funds to make sure that all of the programs and services that are offered and that they're free. Everything's free. They're public. And there's over 70 programs. We won't get to all of them. I know as we go through this time together, we'll talk about some of them.
Sure.
But it truly is amazing, and it's just so wonderful. Like I'll just bring one up right off the bat that is near and dear to my heart, because I see day in and day out the work they do. But
Sure.
But we have homework labs, homework centers, and we have actual Palm Beach County certified teachers, Monday through Thursday, and we'll start on the weekends. They come in from 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock, and anybody can bring their children. We also have a teen lab that has a certified Palm Beach County school teacher as well. But they come in and you can work with the teacher on your homework, your assignments. They're there to provide guidance, tutoring. Sometimes it's motivation, inspiration. And now, because of COVID, of course, it's all done very safely, but they're doing it virtually as well. So you can virtually go in and work with the teachers. So what's so wonderful to see is I'll walk past the homework center at 5 o'clock and you'll see one teacher sitting, and they've got the plexiglass, of course, between for safety reasons, and
Right.
everybody's wearing a mask. But they'll be working with 2 teachers, but they'll also have a laptop open, and they'll also be working virtually. But I tell you, for a lot of kids in our community,
Sure.
those teachers, that homework lab is what helps them stay on target with their grades, their school. That leads to high school. That can lead to college. As we talked earlier, and I think a lot of people out there know, reading at the end of the day is the difference maker.
It really is.
Yeah, there's so many statistics that say kids in the 3rd grade that are reading at the 3rd grade level have one future, and unfortunately kids that don't read at the 3rd grade level, they can get there, they
Sure.
can work, but it's hard, and in many cases, unfortunately, they have a different future. So reading in so many ways is the key. And of course, we have so many programs centered around reading and getting people involved. Other programs too. We've got art programs. Kids are coming in for art lessons. Adults, seniors, community outreach. So there's just, whatever your age is, the Mandel Public Library of West Palm Beach has so many opportunities for you to engage. Pre-pandemic, one of our most popular things was actually our yoga classes.
Right. I remember hearing all about that.
I think they literally were getting over 140 people on Saturday mornings showing up to do yoga, and now they do it once a week virtually. But that will come back,
yes.
once as things are safe, all of the programs, and slowly but surely more and more people are coming back. I started September 15th, which was actually one day after the library reopened to the public. So
Wow.
September 14th, 2020, the library had been closed for maybe 6 months.
Yes.
You could still check things out. All the programs went virtual.
I remember
The
doing
library-
PSAs for it here on Legends, talking about how there was kind of this virtual thing where you could pick up and drop off.
And it's they did grab and go kits.
Yeah.
So one of the really cool things was you could come by, get some grab and go art kits for your kids at home or for adults, then go home and pull up the teacher virtually, and you'd have the materials there and the teacher. And for a lot of parents, especially, I'm sure, who had their kids at home now nonstop.
Yes.
Having activities, having those sort of opportunities. And the library actually reached, I think, over the summer months, I think virtually they reached over 40,000 individuals.
Wow.
So they kept it going. But when I started as executive director on the 15th of September, the library was opened, but there was scantly a soul in sight.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Very few. But I will tell you, January started to see more activity, February, and now I think they're close. We're close to maybe 60% of what we had pre-pandemic. We were getting close to 2,000 individuals a day physically at the library.
That makes my day to hear.
Yeah. It's that level of activity is so nice to see.
One of the things that I think is really interesting about this is, with a lot of people, you mentioned library, and there are misconceptions about it. People think, well, I mean, it's going to be this older building, and there's the woman hushing me, and people tend to think that a library is something. It feels like an older concept, but the fact is, look at the programs, look at the technology level,
Right.
and the libraries are incredibly cutting edge when it comes to technology, when it comes to services. Libraries, and the Mandel in particular, pivoted during the pandemic, was able to pivot and keep the services going using technology and even expand in a way that a lot of other businesses could not hope to achieve.
It really is impressive what they were able to do. And I tell you, if you haven't been to the Mandel Public Library, it's such a beautiful, just very quickly, I'll give you, there's 4 floors. The first one is set up to sort of be like a Barnes and Noble. You got your magazines, you got your popular books, and it's, it's just very Barnes and Noble feeling. And people are talking and sitting together, reading and looking at things. The second floor is all about technology. Okay. And I mean, you can do 3D printing. You can do, I'll share one story about what I did with my 15-year-old son this past Saturday. I actually took him to the library and did something that he absolutely loved. It was a little surprise for him, but all computers, technology that you can imagine. Then you go to the third floor is the children's library. It's complete, and it was designed with safety. So the elevators are very separated from where you can get to easily, so you can feel safe. The restrooms are in the same area away from any exits. Mirrors are there, but it's a huge, beautiful open space, beautifully designed. Kids are laughing, giggling. The homework center is in there. It's a private room with the teachers. Wow. But kids are having a great time. The fourth floor, then finally, is what you might think of a more traditional. That's where it is kind of kept quiet. It's the reading room. Yeah. It's literally almost as long as a football field. The ceilings must be 80 foot. They're beautifully rounded. It's probably one of the most beautiful spots that I've been in. One of the most beautiful parts of a building that I've been in Palm Beach County. I mean, it's breathtaking, and it's the type of place that anyone would want to curl up and read a book and just really maybe you're working on a school program, maybe you're working on a master's, maybe you just have a book you want to read. It's just absolutely gorgeous. That's the only floor where it is kept kind of quiet. It's the reading room. The first three floors are full of life and programming. But the fourth floor is very special. And if you haven't been to the Mandel Public Library, if you have kids, they're going to love the third floor. If you want to just check out the latest and the greatest, the first floor. But if you want to be sort of in awe and just curl up to a good book or sit by a computer, and there's computers on everywhere there's computers. But the fourth floor is breathtaking.
You know what's really cool about that is it's so well-rounded. There is something for everyone at that library just based on what you have expressed here. And with the programs, with all the resources available, it's a well-rounded place that helps to contribute to well-rounded individuals. And that's something that is so incredibly important. And that third floor concept, the way you described it, the safety, the mirrors, everything else, that seems to me to be a place where a child can be kind of set free to explore, to grow their world, and their parents can keep an eye on them from afar. They know they're okay, but that child also has the freedom to find their path there. Right. It's like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory to me, except safer.
Yeah, no, it's funny when you described what libraries, what some people imagine them to be like. I mean, you and I are maybe close to the same age. I might be a little bit older, unfortunately, but libraries used to be that way. I can remember going, my middle school had a library and nobody spoke, and you learned about the Dewey Decimal System, which was good stuff to learn. But
I remember it well.
But this library, and today, it's people are smiling, laughing, and if you learn to read, you'll have a different life than if you don't. But if you learn to love it and enjoy it, that's going to drive you to be a good reader, and that's going to open so many doors for you. And because it's like my youngest son, 15, I mentioned earlier, I've harped and harped and harped on him that if you can read, you can go as far as you want educationally, because it's all about reading. It is. People that drop out of school, they don't drop out because they're not smart. They don't drop out maybe they do like the subjects. But if you can't read, math is hard because you can't read the book. Science is hard because you can't read the book. I mean, without the reading comprehension and reading ability, it just makes so much in life so hard. And so many programs, we've touched on the homework libraries, but there's reading groups. We've got the whole summer learning coming up, where every day we will have lunch and snacks, and then around this, that brings some of the kids in. In West Palm Beach, unfortunately, the world is. There's people who need support, who need real help. Sure. And so we providing the food and the lunches, but around all of that are reading programs, learning activities. And it's so wonderful to see, because you're seeing people come in, they're having fun, and they probably don't even realize they're learning and absorbing information, but it really gets them through the summer. It's a safe place to be, and that's one of the areas that we're right now raising funds for, is to support that programming, because we use certified teachers. Right. We've got obviously all of the materials that go involved, getting them books and supplies. But it's also art programming, and it's been a tough year for everybody. Absolutely. And we're finding that art lessons and art and drawing, sometimes younger people, kids, sometimes that's how they will express their emotions, and it's an outlet for them to kind of get through some of the difficulties that some people have, just because some people have hard lives growing up. But everybody's had a tough last 12 months. And so I think the art programs, the reading programs, the support, the structure, the safety, all of that is part of what makes it such a special time.
Well, wow. I mean, that was beautifully put. But again, as a resource for the community, for the kids in the community, the ones who need the help so much, it's right there, and it's something that is free of charge. That is, I can't say enough about that. This is an area that so many kids need help in. And I'll tell you, I know a lot of teachers. My sister's a teacher. Summer slide is a very real thing. With me, it was less so because I read all summer long, But these programs, keeping kids' minds moving, keeping them occupied, new discoveries and everything, those programs, I can't say enough about the impact on them. And even from an economic sense, keeping kids in line, keeping them reading, changing what that future may be about, the economic impact of that in terms of employment down the line, all those things, those are very real numbers. Those are very real things. And the benefits of these summer programs, they ripple outward to affect so many areas that we may not think of without really taking a deep dive.
No, that's very well put and very well said. And we're very fortunate at the Library Foundation. We have such an engaged board of directors. Again, we are a 501c3 organization. Mm-hmm. We're independent. I report directly to an all-volunteer board of directors. We have wonderful members of our community that are stepped forward, providing leaderships and guidance. We're doing all kinds of fundraisings. We're really trying to raise the profile of the library and the foundation to get more resources. I could go on. There's wonderful computers on the children's floor, but there's such a need to upgrade those computers. Sure. There's so many opportunities to enhance the program that we're doing, to sustain the programs we're doing. And the foundation, we're really, we've launched a new website. You've given it a few times, WPBLF.org. Mm-hmm. Which obviously is West Palm Beach Library Foundation.org.
You got it.
So if you go there, you'll see our brand new look and feel. You can meet our board of directors. You can read about all of the wonderful programs that we're supporting. Our big event is, I should probably mention that because you'll start to hear more about it. It's called Food for Thought, and it's going to be this November 13th. This is our premier event where we try to raise some really good funds to support all of these programs that we're talking about here this morning. But it's a wonderful concept. And here in Palm Beach County, there's so many wonderful events and wonderful charities.
A lot, yeah.
But they all, a lot of them, and I've been part of many of them, they're great. It's usually a nice dinner, then there's maybe a band and some dancing and maybe a silent auction.
Right.
This is kind of different. What it is we have one person at each table as a table host, and that's going to be the type of person, somebody that you would love to have a conversation with, a dinner with. Might be a local author, might be a local scientist.
Right.
One of the people that was very popular a couple of years ago, I'm told, was we had a scientist from Scripps came in and they were doing research on Alzheimer's. So it can be
fascinating stuff.
It was really good. So there's roughly 20 tables. You can buy tickets. A corporation could buy a table. An individual can buy a table. But you'll have a wonderful evening, a wonderful meal, cocktail reception, all of those good things. But you'll really end up at a table where you'll get and you can put in, you'll know who the different table hosts in, and you put your first choice, your second choice, your third. So you get to sort of, guide yourself on who you would like to have dinner with. But we get some fascinating people. So we're very fortunate to have that event coming up. Last year, of course, first it was postponed, and then it was ultimately canceled just because it wasn't safe. But by this November, we're confident that it's going to be in full glory, and it's going to be our best ever. We've had some wonderful people step forward to support us, so we're very excited by a lot of the people coming forward. But I would say to everyone listening today, if you want to help, you can obviously make a donation. But if you want to be part of a very special event, You can look into table sponsorship. If you're, again, corporations we're reaching out to. Very excited that Levenger, whose headquarters is in our own backyard. It's right here in Palm Beach County. And what a wonderful, their mission is all about literacy. And they've worked with a lot of wonderful libraries throughout the country. Their CEO, Margaret, has joined our board. They're a grand corporate sponsor for Food for Thought.
Yes.
So we're just really excited. There's a lot of momentum right now. We just brought in a brand new group of board members, 5.
Wow.
So that was quite a shot in the arm for the foundation. We've launched our corporate giving council, where we're really reaching out to the corporations and businesses, because all of the things we're talking about, all of them require one thing, and that's financial support. Without that, unfortunately, the homework labs, the STEM, all of the programming, the art courses, even the baby yoga, believe it or not, we have baby yoga where the moms and dads come in and work on stretching with their infants. All of that has to be sustained financially, and that's why the foundation exists.
Right.
Some people call us, we're the fundraising arm for the library.
Sure.
Our job is to bring in the funds to make the programming possible.
The programming is amazing. I mean, top to bottom, there really is, I said before, something for everyone. There are areas to fulfill needs for the people who have the economic issues, to prevent that summer slide, to keep kids able to discover all these new worlds of reading. But then there's yoga classes. There are all these, the programs, there are so many of them. Learn more at WPBLF.org, WPBLF.org. You're going to see a lot there. Now, we've got a few minutes left, and I want to talk a bit about financial donations, about how people can help you, exactly what you're looking for. How can people help the West Palm Beach Library Foundation to make this mission successful going forward?
Sure. We have, there's 4 main keys that we work on to try to get keep the doors and the programs going, and really build and expand upon them. One is grants and foundations. We're constantly reaching out, applying for grants, and we're having more success with that because we're doing a better job reaching out proactively and applying for these grants. So if anybody's out there is associated with a foundation or somebody, and some communities give grants, please keep us in mind. Reach out, have a conversation, reach out to me.
Sure.
We'd love to meet you, talk to you, and find out if there's a connection. Then there's individuals, our giving society, and individual. And the person that gives $25, thank you. The person that can give $100, thank you.
Right.
And then there's some people in our community who can give more. And obviously it all is important. And then we have our corporate council. This is brand new. We just launched this in January. Levenger has stepped up. They're our first real member. We're asking and we're working and we're reaching out. Exciting that I've got a meeting this Friday with a potential FPL board member. So we're hoping that we can get a good relationship with FPL started, because it's so important. They're such an important part of our community. But there are so many businesses and communities out there who could be working with us and supporting us. And if you want to work with disadvantaged youth, if you want to work with children of all ages, if you want to work with seniors, adults, if you want to work with people who just need help reading, or people who need after school attention, people who need that support structure, the library offers it all. So those are some ways. And then finally is the Food for Thought, our big fundraiser. If you want to make a financial contribution, but at the same time have a beautiful evening, you sort of get to treat yourself to a night you'll never forget, but at the same time treat children and seniors in our communities to programming that might really be a difference maker in their life.
And that's November 13th, Food for Thought. The thing here that I just love is that, and I bring this up a lot, but it's a big thing for me. We seem to, in so many ways, focus on differences a lot. But this is something, the library, the programs, reading, coming together, these are things that we can have in common. These are things that we can learn what makes us all the same.
Right.
And celebrate those things together and move forward together. Yeah. To me, that's about the most important thing at the moment. And these programs all facilitate that. These programs can help to level that playing field. These programs can help younger people to find a passion somewhere in a book and pursue it.
Right.
And
I love what you just said. And I just,
if you take any group of people that exists on the planet, any group, the most different people that you can imagine, whatever the differences are, if you say, I want to ask you one question, raise your hand if there's people in your life that you truly love. We all have that in common.
Everybody.
And everything that the library is set up to do is to help us, to help people. So if you love people, if you love your children, your grandchildren, your mom, your dad, your grandparents, your girlfriend, boyfriend, your partner, if you love people, there's things at the library that can enrich their life.
There are programs you can take advantage of and programs that you can help support. And it's not hard to do. Head over to WPBLF.org and learn more about the West Palm Beach Library Foundation. That is WPBLF.org. The summer programs are amazing, Giving Society, and of course, Food for Thought, which does happen November 13th. It's going to be an amazing evening, probably the biggest one and the best one you've ever done.
It's going to be. It's going to be by far our best. We're very excited. Some very exciting table hosts are marching forward. We've got great support coming in. All that's left now is to really get this community to come and embrace it and support it. Go to our website, find out more about it. Give us a call. If you're out there and you want to be part of these programs, if you want to help support these programs and want to learn more about it, call me. We can talk, we can get together, we can meet, we can do whatever, because I know that there's people listening right now that probably have a lot of things in their life that they could open up and really help these programs go to the next level.
What number could people call you at, Dean?
But the best way, the numbers are all on the website.
Right there.
But yeah, if you go to the website, you'll find all of the information. And again, that's WPB for West Palm Beach, LF for Library Foundation.org. That's the best way to get us. You'll find everything on there, and you can email me, you can call me. But please reach out.
WPBLF.org, WPBLF.org. And by the way, it's a 501c3, so remember, those donations are going to be tax deductible as well. So you can make a difference with this, expand your own world, and expand the world of the next generation while also bringing people together. How many things can say that they can do that? Well, the West Palm Beach Library Foundation absolutely does facilitate that. So help them out. WPBLF.org is the website to learn more about these programs, and we barely scratched the surface of that. So get on that website and see what is available out there and find out more ways that you can help. It's near and dear to my heart personally as well. So, Dean, I want to say thank you not only for being here today, but for all the work that you do, because what you do really does help make this community and the world a better place.
Well, I appreciate that, and we have amazing, the staff at the library is just top-notch. They're dedicated. They're wonderful people. They are there to work with you, to help you, and everybody working together, we can make our community stronger, and the library is a wonderful place to start to make that happen. Mandel Public Library, right down there in the heart of the West Palm Beach on Clematis. Check us out. If you haven't been in the library, treat yourself and check it out.
And it is treating yourself.
Yeah.
Definitely check it out. Head to the Mandel Public Library and visit WPBLF.org. Dean, thank you for being with us here on Legends Community Focus.
Thank you.
And thank you for being with us today. Stick around. There's lots more legendary programming on the way on our Sunday morning.